Hey everybody. So we're going to continue with Git and GitHub.com, and I'll show a little demo on how to create a repository and get it set up. So the first thing is you'll go to your GitHub.com and your account, your profile. You will click repositories, and over here you can see new. So we'll click new, and I'm going to set up a new repository that we can build together as our sort of project that we can work on while we're learning. So let's call this, the idea is that it will be a photo sharing. So I'm going to call it photo share. But the idea is you can take a cool picture somewhere and then upload it on the website. And we'll use this as a project where we can contribute, but we can also learn how to do HTML, CSS, um, and maybe eventually we can add in some JavaScript or build onto it, but let's see how it starts. Okay, we'll fill out the settings. We want it to be public, and that's okay for now. So just put the name in, and then click Create Repository. Okay, that was it. The repository has been made. But now that repository, PhotoShare, is on github.com, but it's not on my computer. So what I want you to do is go into your files. So the way to do it, here I'm using Mac, but I have a user called teaching, which is for you guys. And here I've made a folder called Intro to Web Dev. And inside that, we have coding practice, lectures, and projects. And right now they're empty, but we can add to projects, and we'll add this one. So what we're going to do is basically download the project from github.com into our projects folder. And the word for that in Git or GitHub on github.com is to clone. So you're going to clone the project, which is to take a copy and put it onto your local computer. So how do we do that? Well, there's a few ways that we can do it, but I'm going to start with one of the easier ways, and we will use GitHub Desktop, which if you haven't downloaded, I'll put the link in the description, but go ahead and download GitHub Desktop, and then I won't show that, but if you need any help, you can also join the Discord community that I'm setting up, and you can ask questions there, and I can help you through any problems you're having. But so here we have our repo that we built. So you can see that we have a link here to the repo, and we're just going to click this button to copy that, and we'll go to our GitHub desktop, and here has a bunch of my random repositories that I've built, my projects. But what we will do is clone a repository from the internet. This may not be exactly how yours looks, but if it's not, again, reach out in Discord. Okay, so we just copy and paste the URL here. And for our local path, this is important. This is where the project will be saved on your computer. So we're going to actually change that, and we'll put it inside teaching, intro to web dev, projects. Perfect. Select and clone. And now there are no, okay, this is what GitHub Desktop usually looks like. And if it does look like this for you, then the way to clone is to go here, File, Clone Repository. But now you can see that we have the project loaded in. Okay, so we have the project loaded in GitHub Desktop, and it's very useful. We can click Show in Finder, and it will actually show that, look, this folder, PhotoShare, has been created inside our projects folder. But there's nothing inside of it yet because we don't have any files in our PhotoShare project as of yet. But what we will do is we can open it in Visual Studio Code by clicking this button. Again, if you haven't downloaded Visual Studio Code, that's definitely on your to-do list. This is where we will be actually writing code. And again, I'll put the link to download that. And if you have any trouble, Discord is the place. So let's go ahead and make a small file here, and we'll just call it index.html. A quick shortcut is to hit exclamation point and then enter. And this will set up the structure of our HTML document. For right now, this is going to be okay, but we will absolutely break down all of this later. But for right now, I just want to create a file and put it on GitHub. So we'll call this photo share. And so let's say that we have a file now that is very simple, HTML file, and we're going to now add this to GitHub. So if we go to our GitHub desktop, you can see that first of all, we're on the main branch. That's the current branch here. But all the changes that we've made, which is that we've added this text to our HTML file, are put here in green. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a commit, and then we're going to push that to github.com. So we'll take the suggestion and we'll just write down create index.html file, and we click commit to main. Main is the branch, and we haven't published it yet, so this is the same as pushing basically, but we will publish the branch main and push the commit that we just did of the index.html file. And now if we click view on GitHub, it will take us to our GitHub, and you can see that we have an index.html, and if we click on that, it will show us the contents of that index.html file that we just made. So now I have that on my computer here in VS Code, and here in my actual project there's an index.html file that we made, and it's also saved on github.com. And if we click on history for this file, it will show us all the commits that we've made, which so far is just one, create index.html. So this is a basic overview of how to create a repository, how to clone it to your computer, and then make changes to the project and push them back to GitHub using GitHub Desktop. Okay, so in the next video, we will talk a little bit more about Git and go into how it's used to collaborate.